has begun.
Great. Okay. So we are making whiskey fudge tonight, but we're actually making whiskey fudge with a little bit of a twist because I decided, based on this fun whiskey that Bryce brought home when he went out for essentials. This is the whiskey I'm using. It's actually peanut butter whiskey. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, wow.
So it was just like it was an impulse purchase. And we decided that we would make peanut butter chocolate whiskey fudge tonight. So, but the recipe is the same. So basically all I did was I subbed out, instead of 3.5 cups of the chocolate chips, I did 2 cups chocolate chips and then 1.5 cups of the Reese's peanut butter chips to melt them down. So I did that. And then you have your 1 cup of sweetened condensed milk. And you are going to need a teaspoon of vanilla extract.
Could you go back to the breakdown on the chocolate chips and the peanut butter?
Yeah, so the chocolate chips was 2 cups of chocolate chips and then 1.5 cups of the peanut butter if you wanted to try to do the same kind of funky thing, or otherwise you can just do the regular 3.5, right? And then you have your 1/4 cup of your whiskey. So the recipe does say to melt it in the microwave, but
we have a question.
Yep.
If you don't like whiskey, can you use like coconut rum?
Oh, 100%. I think you could sub just about any, I think any like dark liqueur is probably going to stand up pretty well in this recipe. So like rum, I would guess would be pretty good.
Okay, Angelica maybe?
Yeah, I mean, maybe other people have other suggestions. Yeah. I don't know if anybody has other suggestions, but I've made, on a side note, I've made like Bailey's fudge with Bailey's cream liqueur. So I think you can probably you can interpret it pretty liberally with what kind of booze you decide to use. So the recipe does say to melt it in the microwave, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to melt it in a double boiler. So I did it in a double boiler over here on the stove, which I'll show you. So this is the consistency that you're looking for. Can people see that? Right? Yeah. And then the peanut butter chips I did separately, and they have a different texture. So they're a little bit kind of almost like whipped, which is cool because when you put it in the fudge, you can drag like a toothpick across it and make it sort of marbled. So that's fun. So in your chocolate, I'm just gonna kick the heat up just a little bit because I'm gonna add my condensed milk, which is gonna take its sweet time. Nice and goopy. Put you guys down right here. Okay. Oops.
Oh no.
Hello.
We fell in the peanut butter.
Liz.
Oh no.
I'm here. Can you see me?
Yes.
Now we can.
Hold on, guys. I bought a tripod specifically for this, and it's not. All right, there we go. Okay. So this is so what I like about this recipe is it's super easy. It takes about a total of 20 minutes to make, and then you just leave it in your refrigerator until you're ready to cut it and serve it. So I got my 1 cup in. I'm gonna get my vanilla and my whiskey. Here goes my whiskey. And here comes my vanilla.
Liz, did you try the whiskey?
Yeah, we took a sip when we first brought it home. It's not something I would drink like out of it's like drinking sugar. Like peanut buttery sugar.
Yeah.
So it's not, yeah, I think putting it in fudge actually improves it.
Maybe that's what it really was meant for.
Maybe.
So does it taste very alcohol-y, or does it cook out like?
It doesn't really cook out. I don't know that it tastes like overwhelmingly alcoholic. We definitely noticed it when because this is the second time we tried this recipe a couple weeks ago when we originally got the whiskey. And we didn't think it was particularly strong once it was in the fudge. But I can definitely smell it now while it's on my stove.
So you're a happy cook.
I'm a very happy cook. I'm great. This is fantastic. All right, so this is so once I've mixed my whiskey and my vanilla and my condensed milk in, this is kind of what it looks like.
That looks good.
All right.
I just want to drag my finger through that.
Mhm.
All right.
Eat it with a spoon. You wouldn't have to wait for it to.
Yeah.
For it to set. Yeah, perfect.
Good idea.
So now that that's all melted, prior to starting, I prepped a pan with some parchment paper in it. And an 8x8 is a lot easier, but all I had clean right now was a pie pan. A pie pan it is.
Me too.
I could have done dishes, but that's silly.
Wait a minute, in your recipe, Liz, it said something about butter?
Did it? I don't think
Yeah.
so. Are you sure that wasn't the one that you did? Because mine doesn't have butter in it.
Maybe, yeah, maybe it was,
Yeah,
I made the condensed milk.
Yeah, right. Mine is it's 4 ingredients. It's really easy to remember, provided you have the ingredients. So here's my bowl of melted chocolate. And here's my bowl of melted peanut butter. I'm gonna grab an oven mitt because those are toasty. And I'm gonna start by pouring the chocolate into the pan first. Really scrape the sides so you get it all out.
But maybe that's not from scratch, so it's okay. No, it is. We're making it for chocolate chips. Oh, I don't know, it's there. It's there.
All right, so we've got our chocolate.
You need to find it for you?
You lick the spatula if you want. Nobody else is eating this fudge except my family, so I might just lick it. All right, so I just kind of spread that out in the pan so that it's even. And then with my kind of goopier peanut butter, I sort of just take like spoonfuls with my spatula and just kind of plop it on top of the chocolate. Once you have it in there, you could take a toothpick and drag it through to make it kind of marbled or sort of swirl it. I hope nobody can hear that background noise. My husband is building raised garden beds in our backyard, so if you can hear a saw, I apologize. Right.
I saw a thing online, Liz. You can use pallets to make raised garden beds.
Yeah, you can use pallet. There's like all kinds of great stuff you can use when you make garden beds. We had been planning to make these last season and then never got around to it. So we had the lumber sitting around. Now we finally have the time to do it. So I'll show you what that looks like now.
Oh, that looks good.
So it looks like that. And then I'm
Really
going to take
artistic.
this. I have this cake tuster thing that's really just a long Q-tip, and I'm just going to kind of like swirl it around and make it kind of bitty. And so that's what it looks like.
Ooh,
Yeah. So now I'm basically just gonna stick it in my refrigerator. And in a couple hours, I have fudge.
You have to store it in the refrigerator?
Yes, yep. So after I cut it, or after a couple hours, I'll take it out. I'll cut it into small bite-sized pieces and then just put it in an airtight Tupperware container in the fridge.
You have to keep it in the fridge until you're ready to eat it.
Yes, and it'll keep in the refrigerator for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Does it get
Yeah, if it
soupy
lasts that
when
long.
you take it out? Does it get soupy?
No, I didn't. I mean, we just left ours in the refrigerator. And once it came out, it was sort of like we would squirrel like 3 pieces each or whatever and eat them and then put the rest back in the fridge. So I just kind of kept it in the fridge just as a matter of keeping it sort of fresh tasting.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, thank you. That's great. I can't wait
Yeah.
to eat mine. Mine's going in the fridge too.